For example 3, we're going to factor 6x squared plus 17x minus 14. First thing we need to do is check, will anything factor out of all the terms? Between the coefficients 6, 17, and the constant negative 14, nothing will factor out. They're all relative prime. And between the x squared, the x, and there's no x on the third term, so nothing will factor out. So we make our box and we put the 6x squared in the first square. We put the negative 14 in the second square. So next we take the 6 and the 14 and we multiply them together to get 84. So we make our little table and we start finding the factors of 84. 1 will go into 84, 84 times. 2 will go into 84, 42 times. And because 8 and 14 add up to 12, we know that 3 will go into it evenly, and it goes into it 28 times. 4 will go into 84, 21 times. Because 2 and 3 will both go into 84, we know that 6 has to, and it goes into it 14 times. And lastly, 7 will go into it 12 times. So, because the 14 is negative, we know that these two terms have to have different signs, one positive and one negative. So we're looking for two numbers that will subtract to give us 17. And it turns out that 4 and 21 will subtract to give us 17. Because 17 is positive, we know that the 21 must be positive, and therefore the 4 must be negative. So we put those in our tables and we put the x with it, and then we start to factor. Out of the top row we can factor out a 2x. 2 will go into both 6 and 4, and we can pull the x out. Out of the second row we can factor out a 7. In our columns, the first column, between the 6 and the 21 we can factor out a 3. And then from the x's, we can factor out an x to get 3x. In the second column, we can factor out a 2. And because the 4 is negative, it has to be a negative 2. Remember, the negative on top, next to the outside of the box, requires that that number be negative as well. So they have the same sign. So, our answer for this factoring problem is 3x minus 2 times 2x plus 7.